I'm Mark Osborne.
I'm Dave Osborne.
And graduated high school in 1994 and been farming ever since, and on a 300 sow farrow to finish hog operation up to about a year ago, and we've changed that and buying weaner pigs now, and we're at about 14 pound and going to finish them out. And
I guess we're the third generation on this farm, and got a little boy that's about a year and a half old. Be the fourth generation. He wants to come back to the farm, and we just, I guess, me and my brother and dad, all three of us farmed together, and our grandpa retired the year we graduated from high school. Yeah, in 1994 when we graduated high school was probably about the first year we'd worked with Overmeyers, and or me and my brother have anyway. Dad was doing some work with them a little before that, but we raised a couple bins up, made them a little taller, and kind of got our feet on the ground going that way with Overmeyers, and liked how they done things, and just about every other year we've kind of added something, another bin or a dryer or something to the operation. And we just last year we put up a 10,000 bushel an hour leg and put in a dump pit and added some more wet storage, and that's really, it's kind of helped our operation out, I guess, and hopefully we're kind of where we're in a place now we can expand and stuff now a little easier and stuff. And that Overmeyer's been super good to work with, Nick and Bill, and they got a good crew of people that kind of head the operations and stuff up out here in the field, and just have always been super happy with how they do their work, and that's what we like, and hope to continue doing business with them.
And I guess when we start with the 10,000 bushel an hour leg last year, it all started with not for sure where we was going to put it or how we was going to position that in the dryer to make everything kind of flow, and spent several hours in Keith and Nick's offices going over different designs that mainly Keith probably kind of give us several different designs and say you can do it this way, and this is going to be kind of your options down the road, or you could do it, give me about 3 or 4 different options, and every one of those options led to a different placement of bins farther down the road, and I think in a very professional manner, I think as good as you can get, I think, as far as taking time with you and never hurrying you or say, well, here's a couple ideas, go home and think about it and talk about it with your brother and dad, and kind of see which one's going to fit your operation, and if you come back with ideas, they would give you the pros and cons on your ideas, why they didn't think they would work, and I think thanks to both of those guys, Keith and Nick, that I think we've got things where it's going to really accommodate us down the road, I think. I want to say with all the construction that we've done, I guess I've been very happy with all the crews. Started out probably 15 years ago with Jim Nobby doing the concrete work, and my brother and I and Jim, we all three worked side by side as far as pouring foundations and stuff, and tying rebar for bin foundations and footers. And then about 5-6 years ago, his son Fred kind of took over his spot, and he's about my brother and I's age, and we all three work super good together. And with the green leg and tower we put up last year, and 2 hopper tanks for wet storage, and moving the dryer, my brother Dave and I and Fred, we all worked together on digging footers and pouring concrete and the rebar, and got along super great. And all the construction crews, as far as raising the leg and putting the tower up, very professional. I know there was a guy showed up one day from Raleigh, which was the name brand of our tower, and Keith, which kind of is the head millwright guy. I know they work super good together, and I think this is one of the first tires that they'd kind of put up, and we thought, well, this is going to be a slow process, and the guy from Riley kind of got them going in the right direction, and everything just seemed to flow like water after that. And as far as timing of when they said they'd had stuff done, things got delayed a little bit, but I think that was because some of the stuff was a little bit new to them and getting started, and but everything really worked out good, and we did finish before we started harvest, thank God. So that was a plus, and yeah, has really zero complaints with any of the crews, and feel like when they pulled out of the driveway for the last day that we was super happy with everything they done, and that don't happen in many cases. You always find a fault here or fault there, but was tickled to death with concrete and the construction of all the steel, and very tickled with all of it. So, no, I think this will be our 5th season on the SQ28 dryer, and I've been very satisfied with that. I guess we've always had a Farm Fans dryer up to this SQ dryer, and it's with the centrifugal fan. I'm pleased with the noise that it puts out compared to the Farm Fans dryer. And most of our service work, just bearings and just your general maintenance, we pretty well take care of ourselves. But what we can't do, OMRs have always provided a very good service. Josh is, I think, second to none on knowing what to look for, and he can come in pretty quick and get you going again. And 9 times out of 10's got the part on his truck, and there's times we've called Josh on the phone and talked to him and been able to, he's pretty well can walk us through what we need to do sometimes without him even pulling on the farm. But been very satisfied with the dryer and the servicing of the dryer. And I know there's days we call down there and Bill will be in his office, and he can walk us through a lot of things if we can't actually talk to Josh, and just give us some pointers to kind of look for, and as far as questions on where for different sizes of fans and stuff on our bins, so you got to kind of set the dryer accordingly for how much the corn's going, or how fast it's going to cool in the bin with the size fans. And it's something they've always been able to answer our questions pretty quick and very thorough. I feel like anytime any questions at all we've had on any type of drying, or as far as the temperature of grains and all that, they've got been very thorough on helping us out. So, and we can't thank them enough, I guess. As I was talking earlier, we spent several hours in Keith and Nick's offices down there at Overmeyer's discussing what we wanted. And we first started out on the leg. We thought we was going to go with a 6,000 bushel an hour leg and a 1,000 bushel pit. And not too far in the conversation, they kind of shied me away from that. They said, you're going to be fighting groundwater all the time with the big pit. Maybe go with the smaller pit and a bigger leg. And we said, well, we'll go to 8,000 bushel an hour leg. And then a little more in the conversation, we ended up with a 10,000 bushel an hour leg. And after construction was all done, we had the 10,000 bushel an hour conveyor feeding the leg. And we was talking to Keith there, and he said, did you know you could jump this leg to a 12,000 bushel an hour leg with what you got here by changing a couple pulleys? And I said, no, I didn't realize that. So that was where, I guess when we was all said and done, we ended up getting more than what we thought we was getting, which is a lot more satisfactory than going the other way. No, our eyes kind of lit up, and he said, you can get 12,000 bushel an hour out of this leg. And we was like, well, that's nice. I thought we paid for a 10,000 bushel an hour leg. But he said, you did, but you got a little extra today. So
better not tell Bill and Nick about getting their bill in the mail.
So, but no, we've been very satisfied as far as when they said you're going to get something, we feel like we get that and more out of them, and
it's all quality, and that's, don't mind sometimes paying a little extra if you feel like you gotta, when you're happy when they pull out of the driveway, and you say, well, I mean, anything anymore today is everything's too high, or you feel like it's too high, but when you get a good quality job done, yeah, you can kind of forget about the other side of it, and say everything works good, looks good, and a bunch of good people to work with, and everything they've done so far, we've always been tickled to death with them.